Some men walk into a room and immediately command attention, not by being loud or forceful, but by something deeper. It's not just confidence. It's not just presence. It's intelligence. Not the kind that shows off or brags. The kind that sees everything, understands everything, but says very little. This is the Sigma male. He doesn't try to dominate conversations. He doesn't flash credentials. He doesn't need validation from others. Yet people notice him. And more than that, people feel unsettled around him. Why? Because they sense something they can't explain. Something sharp, quiet, and completely out of reach. It's not arrogance. It's not mystery for the sake of being mysterious. It's awareness. The Sigma male sees through the noise. He hears what's not being said. He understands people in ways they don't even understand themselves. And the moment someone tries to control or manipulate him, he's already 10 steps ahead. This kind of intelligence isn't just rare, it's uncomfortable. It makes people feel exposed. It makes them second-guess themselves. It removes their sense of power. And for those who rely on image, ego, or control, the Sigma's intelligence becomes frightening. In this video, we're going to look at why this happens. Why does the intelligence of a Sigma male shake people, sometimes without him even trying? It's not just about IQ. It's about insight, timing, restraint, and self-possession. It's about the kind of mind that doesn't just learn, but sees through everything. Here are 6 powerful reasons why the intelligence of a Sigma male is not just impressive, but intimidating to those around him. Reason number 1. Ability to read people. Instantly, one of the most powerful and unsettling traits of the Sigma male is his ability to read people fast. He doesn't need a long conversation. He doesn't need full backstory. He can catch someone's energy, tone, and subtle behavior within minutes and already know what kind of person they are. This comes from deep observation. The Sigma male pays attention to what others overlook. Facial expressions, micro-reactions, changes in body language. He notices everything. And while someone else is distracted by what's being said, the Sigma is watching for what's not being said. This is why some people feel nervous around him. They can't lie comfortably. They can't fake confidence. They can't hide their real motives for long. The Sigma doesn't always call it out, but people sense he sees it anyway. That feeling of being seen through is what triggers fear. Most people are used to hiding behind charm, jokes, or authority. They're used to being able to influence a room by controlling what others see. But when a Sigma male is in that room, their tricks don't land. He's not reacting the way they expect. He's not impressed. He's not moved. And that lack of reaction often says more than words ever could. What makes this intelligence even more intimidating is how quiet it is. The Sigma doesn't broadcast his thoughts. He doesn't tell people he sees through them. He just watches. And that silence becomes pressure. It creates tension. People start wondering what he knows, what he's thinking, and whether they've already revealed too much. The ability to read people isn't just about perception. It's about control. When you know what someone wants, fears, or hides, you hold power in that dynamic. The Sigma doesn't abuse this. But others sense it. And the fear doesn't come from what he does. It comes from what he could do if he wanted to. That's what makes this trait so intimidating. He doesn't need to say much. He just knows too much. And people who live on illusion don't feel safe around someone who sees the truth. Reason number 2, strategy over reaction. Most people react. They hear something they don't like, and they speak. They see something they don't expect, and they move. They get emotional, defensive, and impulsive. But not the Sigma male. He waits. He watches. He plans. This is one of the reasons his intelligence unsettles people. They expect a reaction. They expect to trigger something, an argument, an emotion, a correction. But the Sigma doesn't respond to pressure the way others do. He steps back, calculates, and chooses his move on his own time. This makes people nervous. They don't know what he's thinking. They don't know when he'll act or how. And that uncertainty gives him control without having to demand it. The Sigma male is a strategist. He thinks long-term. He doesn't need to win every moment. He needs to win the outcome that matters. That means he's willing to stay quiet in the short term, to wait for better timing, or to gather more information before making a move. When someone tries to bait him, he doesn't bite. When someone challenges him in public, he doesn't rush to defend himself. When someone tries to rush his decisions, he slows down. That kind of emotional discipline is rare and powerful. Because while others are exhausting themselves with noise, the Sigma is building leverage. This shows up in all areas of life. In work, he sees patterns others miss because they're too focused on reacting. In relationships, he avoids toxic behavior by observing before committing. In social circles, he knows who to trust and who to avoid because he's watching how people behave, not just what they say. People who act on emotion often feel confused around the Sigma. They can't get a reaction. They can't predict what he'll do. And when he finally makes his move, it's often sharper, cleaner, and more effective than anything they planned. That's what makes his intelligence so frightening. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's calm, quiet, and built for impact. Reason number 3, emotional intelligence plus logic. A lot of people rely on logic but fail to understand emotion. Others are very emotionally aware but let their feelings cloud their thinking. The Sigma male is rare because he blends both. He understands people emotionally, but he doesn't get pulled off course by emotion. He feels deeply, but he thinks clearly. This is a powerful and unsettling combination. Most people expect someone to either be cold and logical or warm and emotional. But the Sigma moves differently. He can sit in a tense moment, feel everything that's happening, and still make a decision based on what's effective, not what's comfortable. That throws people off. They can't manipulate him emotionally because he sees the play while also feeling the weight. He can connect with someone's pain or energy, but he won't be controlled by it. That balance is rare and intimidating. When someone tries to guilt-trip the Sigma, it fails. When someone tries to flatter him, it doesn't land. When someone tries to stir him up with drama or provoke a reaction, he stays steady. That stability sends a message: you can't move me. This emotional intelligence also helps the Sigma navigate complex situations. He can sense tension in a room. He can read the mood without anyone saying it. And he uses that understanding to guide his behavior, predict outcomes, and avoid unnecessary conflict. At the same time, his logic helps him ask the right questions. He doesn't get lost in emotional fog. He steps back, examines the situation, and chooses a response that serves the bigger picture. That makes him a strong leader, even if he doesn't seek leadership. People trust him because he doesn't panic, doesn't rush, and doesn't overreact. The Sigma male's intelligence becomes threatening when others realize they can't twist it. They can't bait him into bad decisions. They can't pull him into emotional traps. And they can't throw him off with pressure. This creates an environment where the Sigma always seems calm, present, and prepared. He knows what's happening, how people feel, and what needs to be done. And that level of control, both internal and external, makes him one of the most intimidating people in the room. Reason number 4. Silence as a weapon. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill it. They speak just to be heard. But the Sigma male is different. He's not afraid of silence. He uses it. He turns it into a tool, sometimes even a weapon. When everyone else is talking, the Sigma is watching. When the energy in the room is loud, he becomes still. And in that stillness, people start to notice him. Not because he demands attention, but because his silence makes them curious or uneasy. This kind of quiet power is unsettling because it can't be read. People don't know if he's agreeing, disagreeing, planning, or already ahead. They feel watched. They feel evaluated. And they don't know what's going on behind those calm eyes. That's the point. The Sigma doesn't speak just to prove something. He speaks when it's necessary. That makes every word land harder. When someone talks all the time, their voice becomes background noise. But when someone speaks rarely, their words hit with force. In conflict, this is especially effective. While others are shouting, blaming, or defending, the Sigma stays silent. That silence becomes pressure. People feel the weight of it. They project their own fear or guilt into the space he creates. And often they end up exposing themselves while he says nothing. This doesn't mean the Sigma is passive. It means he chooses his timing carefully. He lets others reveal themselves. He lets silence stretch until the truth breaks through. And by doing so, he gathers more information, more insight, and more leverage. This tactic also keeps him emotionally balanced. He doesn't get pulled into every argument or every ego-driven debate. He lets silence do the work. And often silence does more than shouting ever could. People don't fear silence itself. They fear what it means when someone comfortable with silence is also intelligent. That mix of stillness and clarity creates an unsettling force, one that makes others question themselves before they ever challenge him. Reason number 5. Independence and unpredictability. The Sigma male lives by his own code. He doesn't follow the social ladder. He doesn't play the popularity game. And he doesn't care if people understand his moves. That kind of freedom makes him unpredictable, and unpredictability is one of the most feared traits in any environment. Most people follow patterns. They seek approval, they chase trends, they fit into roles. But the Sigma doesn't. He chooses his path based on internal values, not external pressure. That means no one can predict what he's going to do next. And that alone makes him dangerous to anyone trying to control the situation. This independence confuses people who are used to social systems. When someone doesn't react to praise, doesn't fold under pressure, and doesn't follow the crowd, it becomes hard to manage them. It becomes hard to influence them. And that's where fear sets in. The Sigma isn't just unpredictable because he wants to be different. He's unpredictable because he doesn't play by rules designed to keep people in line. He values freedom more than fitting in. That's why he moves in and out of social groups, changes environments when needed, and never explains himself unless he wants to. This makes it almost impossible to manipulate him. He doesn't need your approval. He doesn't fear rejection. And he's not chasing power the way others are. That puts him outside the game completely. And being outside the game makes him hard to target. Others can't use social pressure against him because he doesn't respond to it. They can't use status or rank or image. None of it matters to him. And when someone doesn't care about losing what the world thinks is valuable, that person becomes a threat to those who built their identity on those very things. The Sigma male isn't unpredictable because he's chaotic. He's unpredictable because he's free. And real freedom can't be tracked, predicted, or boxed in. That makes his intelligence a moving target, always one step out of reach. Reason number 6. Power to withdraw and reappear. The Sigma male holds one of the rarest kinds of power, the ability to disappear without warning and return without explanation. He doesn't need to be seen. He doesn't need to be involved. And when things become chaotic, manipulative, or meaningless, he simply walks away. That's not weakness. That's control. Most people stay connected to drama, arguments, or toxic relationships because they fear being forgotten or replaced. The Sigma doesn't. He would rather walk alone in peace than stay attached to chaos just to feel included. This makes him unpredictable and hard to manage. What's even more unsettling is how he reappears. When people think he's gone, he returns, but not as the same man. He comes back more focused, more clear, and more distant from whatever tried to pull him down. That transformation makes people nervous. It reminds them that he's not dependent. He never was. This ability to withdraw is also a protection strategy. The Sigma male knows that sometimes the smartest move is to remove yourself before a situation becomes damaging. Whether it's a job, a social circle, a relationship, or a conversation, he leaves when it no longer serves his values or his peace. People are often confused by this. They mistake his silence for defeat. They think his absence means they won. But they don't realize he chose not to fight. He chose not to waste energy. And now that he's returned, stronger, clearer, and with full control, they don't know what to do. This cycle of withdrawing and reappearing keeps the Sigma male from being boxed in. He stays mobile, mentally, emotionally, socially. No one can predict where he'll go next. And no one can force him to play a role he didn't choose. That power is rare. And it's terrifying to anyone who depends on control. Because you can't control what doesn't need your approval. You can't manipulate someone who values solitude over popularity. And you can't defeat someone who isn't even playing your game. The Sigma male's intelligence isn't just in what he says or knows. It's in when he walks away and how he returns. And that rhythm, quiet exit, powerful return, is one of the most intimidating moves in his entire playbook. Intelligence doesn't have to shout. It doesn't have to dominate a room. It doesn't need attention to be effective. Sometimes, the most dangerous form of intelligence is the one that doesn't seek recognition at all. That's what makes the Sigma male so unsettling to people who don't understand him. He reads people instantly and knows more than he says. He doesn't react emotionally, he strategizes with calm focus. He blends emotional understanding with logic in a way that few people can match. He uses silence to shift power. He moves independently without needing permission. And he walks away from anything that threatens his peace, only to return sharper than before. This isn't about trying to scare people. The Sigma doesn't move from ego or pride. But when a man is this clear, this focused, and this in control of himself, it becomes hard for others to keep pretending. The Sigma's presence alone exposes what others try to hide. That's why his intelligence is frightening. Not because he uses it against people, but because it reveals what they don't want to see. If you saw yourself in this video, or if someone came to mind as you listened, share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what part hit the hardest. And if you want to hear more about how silent strength works in a loud world, hit subscribe and stay connected. Because in a world full of reaction and performance, the quietest one in the room is often the smartest and the most prepared.